all for tuning in to another edition of Outside the Shop with me, your host, Daryl D. Lane. Thank you everybody who's tuning in via Twitter/Periscope, Facebook Live, and YouTube live stream. This is the show where I talk that I normally don't get the chance to talk about on my regular sports podcast, Barbershop Sports Talk, which you guys can all find on Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iRadio, SoundCloud, wherever you listen to your podcast, whichever platform that may be. Check on the description to the link below. One of the descriptions, I believe, is Derrick Henry. Should he be an MVP candidate? I think he should be. Still hear that argument. Also, I believe the other description, I'm kind of forgetting the other description, but Cowboys, I believe it's Cowboys coordinator come out of Dallas and be a head coach potentially in the offseason. So check out both of those links on YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, and also like, comment, and subscribe. I want to hear what all you guys have to say. And be on the lookout for the pod that's going to be dropping tonight with my good friend Ben Karen, host the Sports Call the podcast, as we break down Tampa versus Philadelphia, and also previewing the NFL for, what is it now, week 5? No, week 6 now. I think it's week 6. And week 7 of college football. We'll get into the John Gruden stuff, I'm sure. So now let's start with this Tampa versus Philadelphia. I just want to give you an overarching view of this game. Philadelphia's coming off a big win, a big comeback win against the Carolina Panthers, one in which they shouldn't have won if Sam Darnold didn't throw 3 picks, but that's a story for another day. Keys for Philadelphia. Number one, Tampa has one of the best run defenses in the NFL. They have big guys up front. They also have really good linebackers like Levante Davis and Devin White. So Philadelphia's going to have to find a way to match that with their offensive line and rushing game with Miles Sanders and Jalen Hurts. And they're going to have to find a way to run against Tampa and just find a way to at least keep the Tampa defense honest, because we all know that Tampa's passing defense is not very good, but their run defense is elite. So they're going to have to find a way to keep their run defense, or at least even out the playing field there and just run the ball well enough to where they can keep it honest. And if you're able to keep it honest, it's going to open up throwing and make it a lot easier for Jalen Hurts. So that's the keys for Philadelphia. Also, in terms of their defense, going to have to get ahead on Tom Brady. If you're not pressuring Tom Brady, you're letting all these receivers run around the field, it is going to be night. See you. Wouldn't want to be you. And this game is going to get ugly and ugly quick. If you just let Tom Brady operate in the pocket, there's not very few humans who have ever played this game that can do better than Tom. Perfect mechanics, throws the same pace on his ball every single time. Tom Brady is fantastic. If you make this a 7-on-7 scenario, Philadelphia is begging for trouble and they will be blown out. In terms of what Tampa needs to do, make all just enough, right? They haven't been running the ball. The running game hasn't been that effective. You need at least 10 to 15 rushes, right? Just enough to where you're kind of helping to stay ahead of the sticks a little bit, where it's not just all on Brady's arm, where Brady's not throwing it 50 times. So just enough to take a little pressure off of Brady and all these Tampa weapons, to where you can start using a little bit of play action and stuff of that nature. What I would say is keep Tom upright. Have Tom move around the pocket, dance, and do his thing. It's going to be easy. It's going to be winner, chicken dinner, chicken barbecue all day. In terms of the defense, you're going to have to make Philly one-dimensional. Make them pass the ball. Load up on the box. Force Jalen Hurts to beat you with his arm. If Jalen Hurts is able to, if you're able to get this run game going, because that's what makes Jalen Hurts kind of special. That's why he's a starter in this league. He's not a starter in this league because he can throw. He's a starter in this league because he can run. You're going to have to make him win with his arm, not his legs. That's what you're going to have to do in this scenario. In terms of just takeaways and using notes that I kind of actually paying attention to, this key, and this is something I've already talked about a lot, right? You can tell Jalen Hurts throwing the football. Tampa has one of the worst pass defenses in the NFL. Richard Sherman is starting in their secondary. Richard Sherman was out of the league. He's been out of the league for 8 months, right? Nobody wanted Richard Sherman. So if Hurts can't pass the ball effectively against Tampa, we see guys like Mac Jones have success passing the ball against Tampa. We've seen other quarterbacks, and we see him struggle. Let's say he struggles like Jacoby Brissett did for the Miami Dolphins last. And that's going to kind of show that, you know what Jalen Hurts is? A good, solid backup quarterback in the NFL. He's not a starter. So Jalen Hurts is going to have to find a way to be effective through the air. He's not. I think this is going to be a damning indictment on Jalen Hurts, and it's going to signal to Nick Sirianni and this Eagles brass that Jalen Hurts is not the guy for us to win a championship. In terms of other takeaways, Tom Brady, he's making an MVP case right now. We're witnessing greatness. I was just looking at a stat. He the most yards of any of his MVP campaigns. So that would be the one in 07. He won another one in 2010, I think, and he won another one in like 2016 or 15 or 17. So somewhere in there, he won 3 MVPs. But right now, he's off to a better start than any of those 3 years. So that's another thing. Look at Tom Brady if he continues to play at the level he has to start this season. So next, I want to go to this. Rookie QB. So I'm going to rank the rookie QBs for you so far. Number 1, and I'm going to tier it too. And just let me get some water right now. I got to get some water so the voice doesn't dry up, folks. That's how the is made. We're going to rank them. And I'm going to give you guys tiers in terms of bunch them up, right? Tiers just to kind of separate them even more. So number 1, Mac Jones. He's been the best rookie QB so far. It hasn't even been, right? Mac Jones has been absolutely phenomenal. In terms of number 2, and by the way, this is clearly number 1, no discussion, no debate. At number 2, I'm actually going to put Davis Mills because as bad as he's been through stretches, he's had the best game out of any of these rookie QBs. And he had the best game against supposedly good defense in New England, right? So I'm going to have to give Davis Mills that respect. Besides Mac Jones, none of these quarterbacks have been really consistent week to week. So I'm going to give Davis Mills the edge over Zack Wilson, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, all these other guys. Telemont, all these other guys. So Davis Mills right now would be number 2. And this is all subject to change. It doesn't mean who I think is going to be the best. I actually think Davis Mills, when it's all said and done, will be the worst of all these QBs. But we're talking about the here and now. In terms of number 3, and this next group of guys, counting Davis Mills, they're all the same tier. Zack Wilson. I think Zack Wilson, he's turned the ball over. It's stupid. You can't, but the talent of the throws he makes, it's still special. There's a lot of times where Jets receivers, they're dropping the ball. Defenders are coming free and heading him, right? I think he's been put in a very tough situation where on the offensive side of the ball, he's asked to do probably more at this point in his career. Number 2, Trevor Lawrence. Trevor's been a better runner than a thrower of the football so far this season. I think that's been a big indictment to me in front of to Trevor. I think Trevor's done some stuff where he can make spectacular plays every once in a while, but he's missing the simple throws. He's missing the layups. He's missing that 7-yard throw in the middle of the field where you need to put right on the money. He's missing that throw out the backfield where you need to hit it with precision so your receiver can run up the field, your running back can run up the field, right? The screen pass. He's kind of missing that element of his game, though he can make spectacular athletic plays every once in a while because he's a freak of nature. 6'6", 220 pounds, and he runs like, a 4'6", 4'7". Number 5, Justin Fields. Justin Fields had a really bad game, and that's kind of what puts him a little bit lower than maybe he should be. But I think in terms of deep ball passing down the field, he's been the best out of all these quarterbacks. He can take his shots down the field, and it's spectacular. You kind of saw that when Ohio State was playing against Clemson in the college football semifinals. When Justin Fields is on there and he's able to wheel and deal in the pocket and throw the ball downfield, it is beautiful and it is a sight to behold. You just need to see more of that. You also need to see Chicago put more emphasis on Justin Fields' passing and allow him to throw with his arm more and allow him to use his legs more. I don't think we've seen enough rushing, enough read option, enough zones, enough bootlegs with Justin Fields yet. So that's why Justin Fields is at 5. And then all the way down at number 6 is Trey Lance. I think Trey Lance has had the most offensive talent and the most elite offensive coach in terms of Kyle Shanahan, right? And he's made the worst of it. I think a lot of these quarterbacks have been one read, so I don't want to act like Trey Lance hasn't, but just in terms of the talent that he's had, the production is not showing that, and the coaching is not showing that, right? Like, we can talk about the coaching Justin Fields has, Trevor has, Zack Wilson has, and even Davis Mills has in terms of not being great. We know Mac Jones is really coaching is a solid situation. He does not have the offensive talent, right? He has the organization, but not the offensive talent. Like, make no mistake, the receivers in New England can't separate, but he has more offensive talent. He the offensive talent that Trey Lance does, able to play consistent football, whereas Trey Lance isn't. So that's kind of the difference. That at Trey 1, then Trey Lance being all the way at 6. In terms of also running the football, it hasn't been special. It's been pretty good, but not special. Hasn't been able to move the ball downfield the way you would like in the passing. The passing's been the worst out of all, and it hasn't been particularly close. Now, that can change. Trey Lance, hard worker, talented guy. Don't want to make this a sweeping indictment on his. Just my opinion at this given time. And lastly on this, so Kyrie Irving, now it's looking like the Nets will not end up giving him a contract. Instagram Live to say that his career is not done. He's not going to request a trade. He's not going to retire if he's traded in all of this. And I just want to say this about Kyrie, right? It's his decision to do what he wants to do with his body. I know a lot of people in the country feel differently about the COVID-19 vaccine, right? But here's the issue, right? It's either like you're either an asset or you're a liability when you're in a team concept. Like, we get it, Kyrie, how you feel about this. Kyrie, apparently, they said he wants to be a marauder. He's upset that people are losing their jobs, even though I don't know how Kyrie not taking the vaccine is helping those people who've lost their jobs. I don't know. Can somebody explain that? Please explain that in the comment section, how Kyrie not playing is helping people who have lost their jobs, because to me, it's not. I think a lot of this is Kyrie. Kyrie, see, there's lots of people who do things because they don't believe in it morally, religiously, whatever, and there's people who don't do things. I think Kyrie is in a situation, and I don't know him, right? But I think he's doing this right as if I can do whatever I want to do, and the fact that you're to do, I like that. I want to have a choice. And Kyrie doesn't feel he has the choice, and that's why Kyrie is like no moss. I think if Brooklyn is smart, they'll have to get rid of him. You can't have it just lay away. You just can't. You got to at least get something with it. There have been rumors that they can get a Spurs deal with a DeJounte Murray or something like that. And maybe DeJounte Murray, not the most trade offer out there in the world, but you're going to have to do something. And even a couple role players and a couple picks will help, because you still got KD and you still got James Harden, right? So if you have those two guys, those are two guys who can be top 5 players in the NBA any given night, and you can win a title with those two guys. So get some more role players, suit up, boot up, and get ready to roll. That's all we have for of Outside the Shop. Everybody have a day, and God bless.